Yeah, well, Andy's, Death Grips, just legendary. And again, I'd done a song with him and Zach, who's the drummer for Death Grips, and I basically asked him if he'd be interested in collaborating with us. And I mean, the exciting thing about that track is it's a completely different direction than we could have imagined when we heard back what he'd done to it. It was just so exciting because it was just like, okay, we've got this whole other color on the album, like this whole other vibe, and it's completely in the the zone of what we're trying to do. It's experimental, it's like heavy, it's almost irritating in a way, and and it's beautiful too. I absolutely love what he did with what we gave him.
Yeah, if there is any like vision of people doing like remix work on your stuff, this is as good as it gets, because it's like somebody taking the files and literally delivering you a totally different song. I mean, using the input is our files, and that's obvious, but he just turned it into a totally badass like trucks. I was blown away when I listened to it. And I had it like on repeat for, well, for days, and I was like really into it. And he picked up this, they're scanning my soul, this is the only vocal, like, because I gave him like, he received like a whole vocal line, there was like l- proper lyrics to this song, and he just picked up this little part of it. And I think it reminded me of I think you once told me this session you had with Tricky,
Yeah,
right? And that Adam played some sort of a noise or on a guitar, and he just picked up just a little piece of whatever. The performance was pretty long, and I remember that this is like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sometimes people do this, right?
yeah.
This kind of
Absolutely.
stuff. So
He actually just. I was in the studio with him like all day, and I thought I'd come up with all this cool stuff, and he'd use like this tiny little second and a half little like scratch of a string and then the rest of it was like all different. I was barely on it, but it was that's all he wanted. That's what he saw that he needed.
well, yeah,
So Andy did the same thing.
he decided that this scratch you did was like better than the whole, bass line
Yes.
that you put on. It's like, that's bullshit. This
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
genius shit. Can you hear that?
Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
like, it's like,
It's so
it's
true.
it's the same thing here. Like, there's but he picked up the best part. Like, they're scanning my soul is almost like a visionary thing. And now I'm like, wow, Andy, because this is like, pretty much an essence. We cannot let the system scan our souls. We have to protect ourselves and use all sorts of encryption to just defend ourselves against the scanning of our souls. This is what it gets to.